Hello, BookTube, and welcome to part 6 of Written in Pictures. Uh, 5 more books, or 5 more essays. Let's see what they call it on the flap for this one. This is Life Among the English, Rose Macaulay. Uh, Quite well, she's written a lot. She wrote a lot of books, fiction, and her, I guess, biggest nonfiction was Pleasure Among Ruins, which is a fabulous book. She's written biographies of a lot of authors, Evelyn Waugh, I believe, and others, and quite a bit of stuff, quite a bit of fiction. I don't know if I've ever read her fiction, though. That's the thing. I've read a number of nonfiction books by her, but I don't think I've ever read her fiction. This is kind of interesting because there is an envelope that's sort of stuck to this with an inscription. It says, "Happy Xmas, and I hope that life among the English will bring you every happiness and something in the future. To Eric from Pat." And in the envelope, it says, "Don't take it to heart." On the envelope. And this is a Christmas card. What? No love to keep you warm. And it says, "A Merry Christmas and every happiness in the new year with my love, Pat." There's no date on that, sadly. I wish there was a date. But it looks like it's a handmade Christmas card, which is very cool. This was published in 1942. It says, "Miss Rose Macaulay is well known as one of the ablest writers of her time. In the present book," book rather than essay this time again, "it will be found that she is more brilliant than ever. She has a wonderful subject perfectly suited to her pen and her account of how the English people lived down the centuries. From the earliest times until today is lively and amusing as well as being full of fascinating information. Only someone with a scholar's knowledge of the original documents of English history could have tackled such a theme, discarding all irrelevant detail and condensing such wealth of varied material into a single, brilliantly sustained narrative." Yeah, I wonder if the publishers decided at the end that when they said essay, people were going, "Well, I don't want essays." "Oh, but a book? Yeah, I'll buy a book." Nice, brilliant red. I wonder, it sort of makes sense that they could have done something like that. Again, we're all the same. Page number, an 18th Century Rendezvous, illustration by to Pamela by Samuel Richardson, oil painting by Joseph Highmore, circa 1744. We've seen Pamela one, but I'm pretty sure it was a different illustration. That was quite nice. Yeah, she goes through feudal period, Tudor period, and this is coronation procession of Edward VI passing Cheapside Cross, 1547, engraving from a contemporary painting. An Elizabethan dandy, miniature by Nicholas Hilliard, 1547 to 1619. Scene outside a post office, watercolor by Thomas Rowlandson, 1756 to 1827. I just love, the expressions and things that people are doing all around in the background. Reminds me of I can't think of his name. Anyway, sorry. Not an English. I don't think he was an English artist, but the huge murals, huge paintings, and lots of things in the background. Sorry. If I think of it, I'll put it into the comments. A rowing match at Richmond, part of the celebrations for the Duke of Clarence's birthday, 1795. Watercolor by Robert Cleavey. Bit static in some ways, but because all the people are standing in one corner here, but still interesting. I like carriages. And this is a Victorian grandmother driving in a pony carriage with her granddaughter. Oil painting, John Ferny, 1781 to 1860. Scene in the Strand at Night, watercolor by W. Testis, circa 1860. That is mucho wonderful. I really like that one. Gonna set it up here. You might be able to start seeing them, but that's okay. Here we got English country houses. It's got a bit of a ding out of it there. This is Vita Sackville West, so that's very nice to have. And that was published. I don't think they're getting a date here. No. The Honorable V. Sackville West, daughter of the 3rd Baron Sackville, was born in Newell, Sevenoaks, which is one of the greatest and most famous houses in England. Many of the country houses which are described in this book she knew intimately, and it is, as she herself says, necessarily written from a personal point of view. The authors emphasizes the fact that the English country house is essentially part of the country, not only in the country but part of it. Natural growth, end of quote. Okay. Might be some contention with that statement, but oh well. The development of the English country house from the defensive castle to the Elizabethan manor house and the 18th century country seat quotation to the present day is described here, and room is found to give some vivid sketches of the life that went on within these houses. Miss Sackville West collaborated with Virginia Woolf in some of the productions of the Hogarth Press, and she is the editor of The Land, the poem which... author of The Land, the poem which won the Hawthornden Prize in 1927. She has also written a number of well-known novels. And today, I don't think she's well known for the poetry. She's known for the novels. Here we go. View of Arundel Castle, Sussex. Colored engraving by Bailey after William Scott. Harewood House, Leeds, watercolor by J.M.W. Turner. Oh, I had to look for it. Can you see the house? There it is. That definitely is showing that it's in the landscape. Compton Winyates, Warwickshire, watercolor by T.M. Rourke, 1916. I had to really look at that closely. That really looks like a black and white photograph. To me, anyway. Laycock Abbey, Wiltshire, watercolor by Roland Pym. Was the house of the original, like, early photographer, Pencil of Light, that he wrote. I can't think of his name. Wells Manor House and Church, Somerset. Oil painting by Sir William Nicholson. It's interesting. It looks like there's a wall completely around it, but not a very high wall. Does anybody know this place? Is that sort of representative of it? Hurstencroy Castle, Sussex. Don't know this one. Watercolor by J.M.W. Turner. Newstead Abbey, Nottingham, oil painting by C. Varley. No dates on most of these ones for some reason. Whoever was the compiler and putting everything in may have been just lazy. And as I was saying, I was noticing before, like there was these just the surnames of the artists, and then at other times the same artist with the full name. Inigo Jones, 1753 to 1652, oil painting by William Hogarth. And again, like, you know, the dates of the painter or whatever is in some and not others. The Long Gallery, Hardwick Castle, Derbyshire, watercolor by David Cox. A Country Call, oil painting by G. Stubbs, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Sort of. I always think of him, he has a certain way of drawing horses. Am I right or am I wrong? Does anybody know Stubbs as a paintor? I always figure he's got a certain way with the neck and the head. That I associate, that I sort of look and go, okay, I think that's a Stubbs. Maybe it was a common thing. I don't know. Artists out there, artists that, well, not specific artists, but artist historian. Do let me know. A Country House by the River, watercolor by Edward Day. Doesn't say what house by the river. So is that sort of not a real place? Sort of variable, these things, aren't they? Interesting how going through these like this, you can see discrepancies, similar things that are similar. Boy, oh boy, my tongue is not engaged today or tonight. Here's one that's in quite bad shape, but I'm pretty sure it's the only copy I got. It's British craftsman Thomas Hennell. It's without a dust jacket, but as you can see, it's really, really rough. Again, one of these banners up here spinning. This was published in, actually, I might as well say that, 1943. Again, it's got this, see that blue? It's like, I don't feel anything on it, but I don't know what that is. It's on a lot of the ones I have. Roof of Westminster Hall, detail from a colored antiquette by Pugin and Rawlinson, 1809. I like that kind of architectural detail. An English stained glass window circa 1400, detail from the Jesse window in the choir of York Minster. I obviously probably looked at that when I was there 10 plus years ago, but don't remember it. Art of Making Clocks and Watches, engraving from the Universal magazine. Ooh, I like this. Designed for a bookcase. Colored engraving by T. Sheraton's The Cabinet Maker, Upholsterer and General Artist's Encyclopedia, 1804. I'm assuming, yeah, I don't see any shelves in there, and that's obviously closed doors. Or is that the only bookshelf? And it's for knickknacks up there. Doesn't show, but you'd think you'd see through it. They may not be able to see through it there for some reason. Wrought iron gate, early 18th century. Iron gates and iron railings are I find them quite fascinating. I think a lot of it have disappeared throughout England here because during the war they were cut down, I think. But I've seen some things that there's new ones being put up and sort of copying everything, and I think they're very, very interesting. It's the kind of book that I would pick up if there was a history of iron gates or iron railings. I'm sure there is. Boat Builder's Yard wash drawing by Thomas Girton. I think that's probably the last. Oh, there's color ones here, but oh, that's a nice one. A Blacksmith's Forge, watercolor by C. Conway. That's nice. Now we got British philosophers. Did we do this with British philosophers? I remember there was a Matthews, British philosophers. I don't think so. I don't remember the owl. Again, they'll show a back every so often, and they're all still plain, despite the listing on here. They only duplicate the jacket front. And the date of British philosophers is 1943. Kenneth Matthews is a graduate of Cambridge University. After having left Cambridge, he spent some time as a teacher in Greece and has written several books about Greek life, which are remarkable for their style and distinction of mind. He is a brilliant writer and a fine chess player. So there's a bit of gunk on the flap. Sorry. He's a brilliant writer and a fine chess player. Okay. He brings to everything he writes a powerful intellect and a grasp of essentials. There could be no better introduction to the difficult subject of philosophy than this brilliant study, which goes straight to the heart of the subject and in clear and simple language describes the contribution which the most eminent of British philosophers have made to this subject. Ooh, I love that. Duke Humphrey's Library, the Bodleian, engraved by David Logan, 1675. Sorry, I probably was shaking that too much for you to see. North view of Friar Bacon's study at Oxford. What? Colored Anquint by T. Rawlinson, 1750-60. When I said what, because that's what it says. Unless it's sort of his study is somewhere up here, I assume, or maybe way over here. Did they make a mistake on this plate? Duns Scotus, 17th century oil painting. The philosophers of the summit of Mount Athos, taking observations of the stars and writing words in the dust. Illumination from the travels of Sir John Mandeville, 15th century. John Locke, oil painting by Sir Godfrey Kneeler, 1646 to 1723. They're back by putting the birth and death date of the painter. Edinburgh, oh no, that was actually birth and death date of Locke. Edinburgh from the West, in the time of David Hume, colored engraving by Paul Stanby, 1725 to 1809. I would love somebody to try to take a picture today of that scene, if there was all possible, but there'd probably be just too many buildings right in front of that so you couldn't see it. But it would be cool to see that. And email it to me if you can, anybody. Actually, that's too late now because I haven't said that on any of the other ones, but I'm going to start saying it now. Lincoln's Inn, of which Bentham became a member in 1817, color engraving by J. Marsh. The Library of Trinity College, Dublin. Berkeley was a fellow scholar of Trinity, colored engraving published by Robert Sayer, circa 1760. And there was something on the front part of this that looks interesting. Lincoln, oh, that was the one that was the Lincoln's Inn one. Yeah, it's just philosophers. Pictures of philosophers, that's fine. Well, last one. Yeah. The Conservative Party. Nigel Birch. Well, thankfully it was only a pound. Published 1949. This is interesting. I'll get to that in a moment. In this account of the Conservative Party, Mr. Nigel Birch, why did I say Birch? Birch describes the party's development in the light of some of the turning points in its history, and goes on to write of the position of the party at the present time. He gives some analysis of the varying types of people who are supporters of conservatism, and also deals with the active way in which conservatives are meeting the challenge presented to them by the last election. The author emphasizes the progress made in the organization of the party and in the two-way movement of ideas, which is the basis of the conservative education scheme. Sorry. Mr. Birch is an active member of the Conservative Party and a forceful speaker in the House of Commons. He has been MP for Flintshire since 1945. This book is a companion volume to the Labour Party by J.P.W. Mallieu and the Liberal Party by... yeah, I got the Liberal Party, but I don't have the Labour Party one. I'd like to get that. R.J. Cruikshank published in a series. Together they form a unique illustrative survey of the three main political parties. Yeah, I'd like to get the Labour Party. Yeah, this has a frontispiece. The Duke of Wellington and Sir Robert Peel, oil painting by Franz Xavier Winterhalter. Because that's his name, 1851. I like the light coming in on that. That's really, really nice. Like, it's an indistinctive background. Like, it looks like there's a pillar and stuff, but it's sort of the lights that's really, really, really nice. Ooh, I love silhouettes. That's nice. History of the party up to 1945. Ooh. William Pitt, 1759 to 1806, watercolor by James Gilray. Ah, okay. Well, that explains maybe why Pitt looks like that, unless he really did. The Disraeli Cabinet, 1874 to 1880, oil painting by Charles Mercier. Yeah, have you ever seen any more stuffy? Oh, that's interesting. There's no picture on the back of that one. How about the other? Is there another colored? Well, that's the first colored one. Interesting. No, the Right Honorable Winston Churchill after broadcasting an election speech, June 1945. Oil sketch by Major John Churchill, 1946. Interesting that, and this is the first one that we've come across that has no color on the backside. And here's one that has a picture on the back side, but not the front. A free trade forecast, Victorian poster designed and printed by Percival Jones Limited, Birmingham, issued by the Imperial Tariff Committee, Birmingham. That is really, it'd be interesting to study that and see what everything says there, because I think it's all legible. Well, it says here, free imports meeting, and it's got names. My eyesight's not good enough. German band. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. The Continental Supply Stores Unlimited. But yeah, so that's the back side of it, with the picture. And on the front side, there's no picture. I think that's the last color one. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. Try to keep that out of the frame. Oh, that was 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So that's 5. I'll see you next time, BookTube. Thank you.